Hello and welcome to ACE, Andra Constantine Expediting, a channel where we explore New York City code and legislation and how it affects the way we do business, specifically in the construction industry. Today I want to discuss something a little bit different. It's going to be a series, I believe, and it has to do with the push by New York City to support a permanent outdoor dining program. Now, this program has a timeline and it's backed by both the current mayor, Mayor de Blasio, and the new mayor, Mayor Adams. And they've already been through hearings with DCP, Department of City Planning, and DOT, Department of Transportation, already has a timeline set for it. So as you can see, this is being supported by multiple departments and big players within the city. This was supported by Adams when he was borough president in Brooklyn. So I think now de Blasio is just jumping on the bandwagon because it's moving forward. Anyway, that's a moot point. It's gotten into the forefront of the public eye, and there are many supporters of this program for outdoor dining as part of the New York City's economic recovery program. It's obviously been supported by restaurateurs who suffered during the COVID lockdowns and restrictions, and there's also opposition because there are many residents that will be affected by outdoor dining, and they have certain complaints like accessibility, noise, garbage, etc. However, because the city is behind the program, any of those arguments can be counteracted. So what I'm going to do is first give you a brief overview of this program and its components, and then we're going to look at how the city is taking baby steps towards supporting this program, even though it hasn't been implemented yet. So the piece of legislation that we're going to look at today specifically is for allowing portable petroleum outdoor heating for outdoor dining. So it's going to be a change to the fire code, whereas previously only hard piped natural gas was allowed. Now it's going to be portable petroleum liquefied gas as well, or liquefied petroleum as well. So let's first go to, where shall we start? Let's start with the DOT, okay? Because I'm going to go over here and go to their website, and you see that they have a program called Permanent Open Restaurant Program. And if we scroll down, we're going to see that they actually have a timeline in place. So this is something that they believe is going to happen. So at this point, we are in the fall 2021 to fall 2022 range, and they're talking about legal action to take place, i.e. amendments to zoning text, changes to local law, rulemaking, design, and application details. Well, yes, so far they've had a hearing with DCP about changing the zoning. There looks like they're already changing local laws because we're going to look at one with the fire code. Now, as we can see, if we go to the New York City Council page, this is Intro 2464 of 2021, and you see that they just had 1123, they posted this. So there, it was introduced by council, it was referred to the committee by council, and when we look at the summary of this and the actual piece of legislation, we're going to see that they are asking or stating that it will be implemented immediately. Now, as we can see in New York City Food Policy Magazine, not everyone supports this program. So I'm going to click here and we'll see New York City residents push back against the Permanent Open Restaurants program. This is a recent article from October 28th of 2021. So the citizens, outline a lot of concerns, accessibility, safety, other environmental impacts. Both of these could be argued both ways. They're saying accessibility is going to be impeded because people can't walk down the street. The counter argument to that is, but accessibility to wheelchair individuals is going to be increased because there are certain restaurants that they don't have access to, but now outdoor dining will allow that. Safety, again, you can go back and forth about this, but as we can see, New York City is already changing the fire code to accommodate certain things, and environmental impacts. Again, you can argue this both ways. For example, I have an article here that we're going to look at where Paris banned outdoor heaters because they stated that it's abhorrent to have to heat or air condition the outdoors. And New York City, as we know, is very green conscious in terms of their racket for collecting funds for the city. Right now, what they're doing is they're giving fines for people not listing their energy efficiency rating on the outdoor side of the building. However, on the other hand, they are allowing outdoor heating. So as we can see, if it suits the agenda, it suits the agenda, regardless. And the city is backing this plan. So, France to ban heated terraces in cafes and bars. So this is from 2020. They did it after the winter. They allowed it for the winter, and then they decided to ban. So, short article. Ecology Minister Barbara Pompili said outside heating of air conditioning was an ecological aberration. Okay, so our mayor went to the Vatican and everywhere else to decry climate change. France banned heaters, and now our mayor is jumping on the bandwagon about what a great idea outdoor dining is to the economic recovery of New York City. And as part of that process, we are going to have to expand outdoor heating. So there you go. Anyway, let's look at this, as always, the plain language summary, and then we'll review the code changes, and we'll do a side-by-side with the actual fire code to see specifically what changes. It's really not much, I will tell you this. They are adding some very, very minor safety precautions or rules to how to manage these portable heaters to the end of a section of the fire code. So we'll look at that. So here we go. Summary of Intro 2464. It states, the bill would amend the New York City Fire Code to authorize the outdoor use of portable gas-fueled heating devices. Currently, the Fire Code limits such portable devices to be those fueled by piped natural gas. This bill would expand the scope of authorized equipment to include portable heating devices fueled by liquefied petroleum gas, also known as propane. The bill would require safety precautions related to the operation and handling of such devices, is when we're going to look at that. So let's look at the actual intro. It's not long. It's 3 pages or 2 pages, and what they're going to do is basically they're going to remove this word natural, and they're just going to say portable gas heaters, and they're going to add liquefied petroleum, which is aka propane. And then as we scroll down, we see these sections that are underlined entirely. These are what's going to be added. So let me actually minimize the piece of legislation here and open a side-by-side with Chapter 3 of the Fire Code so that we can look at it side by side. Okay, so this is not very clear on my screen because it's minimized so much, but we'll have to do the best that we can. And as we can see, 313.5.2.1, portable natural gas heaters. Portable natural gas heaters will become portable gas heaters. And they're going to add this line, or liquefied petroleum. So piped by natural or liquefied petroleum. And then if we scroll all the way down here to 13.6.6, let's go to our current code. You see the last bit is 13.6.5 in 313, section 313. The last section is 313.6.5. So we're adding 313.6.6 and 0.7, 0.7.1, and etc. So what's being added? Basically, it's telling you how to maintain and install. So what they're saying is that liquefied petroleum fuel heaters shall be installed and maintained in accordance with these points below. So they want the fuel gas containers to meet these codes. They want the fuel gas containers to meet these regulation standards. And then container placement. They don't want it to be replaced when the public is present, so you have to replace these during off hours. Container capacity, they do not want these to exceed 20 pounds. And then, of course, it's prohibited indoors. And if we go down to the bottom here, it's telling us this local law takes effect immediately. Okay, so as we can see, this is a piece of legislation brought forth by the legislative body of the city council, which was brought to them by multiple bodies in the city, multiple departments of city bureaucracy, the Department of City Planning, the Department of Transportation. It's going to involve changes to zoning, building code, fire code, and Department of Transportation rules. But it looks like the allowing of propane heaters for outdoor heating is a baby step towards bolstering this greater plan of creating a permanent outdoor dining program, where previously restaurants that were not allowed to have outdoor dining due to zoning can now do it, and these other rules, fire, etc., are going to support their ability to do that. That's it, and thank you for joining me today, and I hope you learned something, and I'll continue to dig through. And it looks like this outdoor dining thing is probably going to be a series because it's going to involve, like I said, many changes. I can't wait till we see the zoning changes. We'll look at some maps and we can see what I mean about that. Thank you.